Hello everyone, it's John and Pip. We've had a change of location, haven't we? Yes. He's getting a haircut next Wednesday. Yes, I've made arrangements to borrow my son's car because I've got doctor's appointments next week, which I critically need because. Not that it looks it, I desperately need help at the moment. So, yes, he's while I've got the car, we're going to get a haircut. So he will be a totally different looking dog. Won't you? Yes, because he wasn't happy. I was cutting some of the clumps because I couldn't get some of the yes, I know I couldn't, could I? No, I couldn't get a lot of the clumps out of him with his steel brush. He doesn't like the steel brush on him. It's the only way I can get, because his fur gets so matted, don't you? But yes, what am I going to talk about today? Oh, quite a few things. Yes, I've even got them written down. So you probably have a little lie down here now with me, don't you? Eh? Yes. Books. I have been reading quite a few books. I might just leave it there. You can have this bit of space out here. I can wave to you, give you my royal wave. Yes. My Dianche wave. That sounds good, doesn't it? The puka's over there somewhere. I think it's pretending to be a chair. Pippin will go off and play with it shortly. Start barking for sure. So books. What have I been reading? Demon Lord Retry. I was watching an anime series of the same name, and I found that Kindle had the books. And pardon me, we've had the wind pick up around here, which means we've got a lot of dust floating around, and it's making me cough a little bit, so I do apologise. Demon Lord Retry, quite good. It fills in a lot of the gaps that the anime sort of left you wondering why some of the things were happening. So I'm really enjoying that. I've read up to volume 4. So the Holy Maidens are very interesting. Luna, her character is interesting, but of course, the Demon Lord himself is interesting. Some more of his what are they? His attendants have started to be summoned. So I think 3 of them now are out as of book 4. So I'm rather enjoying that series. I'm currently thinking of getting either Overlord, or I got reincarnated as a slime because I enjoyed both those anime series. So I'm not too sure which one I want to go down, but they're both rather expensive for light novels. Yes, but anyway. Cryptid Quest, a John Decker thriller by Anthony M. Strong. I think it's book 8 in that one. That just dropped, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I finally finished that one. That was really good. That's set in the Amazon, and that introduces an interesting bit of it's a thriller. So, yeah, well, I won't spoil it anyway, but it introduces elements of Greek and Egyptian, and brings back some baddies from an earlier series within the book. Some baddies from one of his earlier books. So it's really good. Again, though, I find that his books go really, really well, and then seem to, I don't know, they seem to rush towards the end. That's about the only thing I find a little unsettling, but still, they're good books. I really enjoy them. One that I've got is Shadows over Hemlock, a Felix Cross case file by E.A. Copen. And I've not quite read or listened to all of that yet. I've got both the book and the audio for that. And that's an interesting book. So I recommend that. Then I've yet to read it. I've listened to a little bit of a starter. I've got to get back to it, and it's called Between Jobs by W.R. Gingell or Gingell. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce the surname. And an Australian author, S, I think it is. And the book is, I've got the audio as well, and it's narrated by a lady, and it is interesting to hear an Australian accent. And no, it's quite good. And the fact that it's set here in Australia, I think it's set in Hobart, I think in Tasmania. So, but no, I'm looking forward to actually spending a bit of time and having a read and a listen to that. So they are the books / audios. But specifically in audios, Audible have changed their formats. They've now got, like, where Kindle have their Kindle Unlimited package, where if you've taken their, whatever their premium service is, where you can have 10 books that you can read for free. Audible have the Plus catalogue now, and these are books that you can stream, play for as much as you like, but you just don't own them. And some of the ones that they were actually sitting in my wish list, which was really good. And some of them, the ones that I managed to pick up, was The Ghost and Mrs. Muir by R.A. Dick, which is a pseudonym for, I can't remember what her name was. I must go look it up again. But that was based on, we had a movie based on it, and there was also a television series, which I can remember watching when I was a younger person. But I believe it was Edmund Mulhare played Captain Greg, and I really did fall in love with the movie and the television series. I thought they were really, really good. So no, that was, and the book is really, really nice. It takes me back to a day when I don't know, times were, to me, more pleasant and genteel, shall we say. Also amongst those, the Plus catalogue ones, was The Once and Future King by T.H. White. So that's 33 hours worth of listening. I'm looking forward to that one. Arkham County, that's interesting. That's a whole heap of narrators in there, and that's by Guy Adams and A.K. Benedict. I believe there's a series on Netflix, I think, that loosely follows the book. I'm not too sure. But I listened to a bit of it, and it's got Randolph Carter. It makes reference to Randolph Carter and Herbert West and those. But it seems to be in a modern-day setting, because I can remember it talking about mobile phones and ATMs and things like that. So it's interesting. I've got to go back and have another proper listen to Arkham County. Then other ones that I've downloaded that I will have to have a listen to are the Cthulhu Case books, which is a Sherlock Holmes and the Shadwell Shadows by James Lovegrove. That looks interesting. So I've some of them are a Lovecraftian slash Holmesian crossovers. So you've got Sherlock Holmes versus Lovecraft mythos stuff. So that intrigues me. I thought, well, I'll have a listen to that because it's I'm very much a Call of Cthulhu sort of, interests me a lot. So I thought I'll give that have a listen to that. And the other one was Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu, The Adventure of the Deadly Dimensions. I can't remember who the hell, I didn't write down who the damn author was, so I'm a bit slack there. But go look it up and you'll see who was the author for that. The other one that I've just picked up and finished listening to was Maxine J. Durand, and it's, pardon me, Never Die Twice, and it's an audio. I've also got the book, and Maxine did Vanquir the Dragon, which is an excellent series, and the book is narrated by Jack Veraces, and it is brilliant because the book is about a necromancer who runs the shop that supplies the supplies for the people who go into the dungeon. But there is a greater overstory within it, and it's very interesting because Walter Ty, who is the necromancer, is wanting to give immortality to everybody, and it's a very interesting story because personally myself, I don't believe that immortality is something that should be achievable. I think that it's an interesting, honestly, I think it's something, have a listen, because I think in one of the things, one of the characters said, well, if immortality is given to everybody, then that would mean that both the good and the bad would be given immortality. So therefore, evil people would live forever. Do you want evil people to live forever? And it poses a rather ethical, point of view. And it reminds me of, there was that Netflix series that I really enjoyed. I can't remember what the hell it was called. No, and I can't remember what it was, but I think I made a comment about that as well, where the people's consciousness, where the elite basically had their when they died, they were downloaded back into a body and they could virtually live forever. But yes, I can't remember what it was called now, but it was really good. I remember Poe. Poe was the owner of the... oh dear, this is dreadful. See, this is it, because I don't script anything. Running. See, everything just runs as I potter along. But no, that was... I can't remember what the damn series was called now. It was a sort of dystopian future. But it was really, really good. I think they did a second series to it, which didn't interest me at all. The first series was really, really good. But yeah, so I've those are the books and audios that have really caught my attention. My 3D printing has been progressing. I've run out of my filament at this stage, so I guess it's come to a grinding halt until I can find some way of sourcing some filament somewhere, because and that'll probably be problematic because I'm not very competent when it comes to online shopping. I very much prefer to walk into a shop and be able to buy things. I'm not very keen on giving my money over to online businesses and wait whatever period of time for my goods to arrive, because somebody's got my money for X amount of time and I don't have my goods. So I find that annoying. So, yes. So, but, you know, the 3D printing was an interesting exercise. I don't know that it really was really that successful. It was interesting. But, yes. No, Pippin, don't start. Yes, I'm looking after my friend Paul's dog at the moment. So we, sadly, on the first night, we had a huge fight between the dogs, and my back door was the casualty. So I don't have a screen door at the moment. Well, I do have a screen door. It just doesn't work properly. So I'm not very happy at present that my screen door is disabled. But what can I do? So yes. What else has been happening? There was that I had to talk about, my 3D printing. I've been fairly lucky. I've had some people come to visit me. I must thank Matt. He came round. We played. I showed him how to play Great Western Trail. I don't know whether or not I did a very good job of it, but I think he's got the gist of how the game plays. So hopefully he can decide whether or not the game's good enough for him to perhaps invest in, or hopefully find somebody that might teach him or play the game with better opponents. I got to play Merv, which I found, what was Merv, the Heart of the Silk Road? That was a very interesting game, a very busy game. I think I need to play it a few times, I think, to pick up the nuances with the game. It had some very Targi style elements within it. So if anyone's played Targi, where you're choosing the rows of what you can pick, except the thing is you're not placing two pawns and choosing the intersection of what tile you're picking up. In the case with Merv, you're choosing one of the tiles on the row that is your pawn has, or your pawn is staring down. So it's an interesting game, and as I said, I think it's daunting for me in the fact that I found it difficult to, I guess, look at all the subsets that were happening within the game itself, and I think it probably had too many elements that probably didn't need to be there, that could have been handled perhaps in a different way. That but you know, I think I need to play the game a few more times before I can make statements like that. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. I need more. I think I need to play the game a few more times. Yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's the best way for me to look at it, is I need to play the game a few more times to understand the nuances, because I think I had that with I'm trying to think, what one was it? I think it was Pipeline. I think I played Pipeline. Was a game that took me a few times. I think the first time I played Pipeline, I think I really didn't like it. I couldn't grasp the concept of what was happening, but I think by about the third or fourth time I think we'd played it, I understood what I was doing. I still wasn't playing it very well, but I was enjoying the game. I was still getting flogged at it, but at least I could play the game at the level that I think I was comfortable at playing it at. So I think that might be the case with Merv. I think I will look at, when I play it, is that I guess I'll probably play it at the level that I can understand. So I probably won't be a competitive player for my opponents. So that's, I guess, my feedback, I guess, with regards to Merv. The last game I played with Matt was Botanic, and I loved it. It's only a 2-player game, and it's interesting that it's a tile placement game. It reminded me, I guess, like Pipeline, where you're connecting pipes together. But I guess I wasn't paying any attention to the flowers, because I thought, I was looking at trying to connect the pipes and the colours together, not thinking that the flowers weren't that much of an issue. But in the end, Matt won with the flower count, and that was an interesting thing that I guess I would need to consider for future games, is that the colour combination's fine, but flowers seem to be the winning combination with the game. Yeah. So I'm keeping an eye out now for Botanic. Yes, I will have to do that. And then the other day, yesterday, I had a lady called Carmen come round and visited, and I basically did the, I guess, teaching. I don't know how well I did there. We played King Domino Duel, which I hope she enjoyed. And then I showed her Hana Makoji. And then we played... What was the last one we played? Because I just won, which was very strange, by just 1 point. It was 17-16. And I'm trying to remember what it was now. What was the third game I played? I can't look because it's on my phone, which is used to do the this filming, and it'll come to me shortly. What was the third game I played? Dear, this is dreadful, isn't it? When you're trying to remember what the third game you played. Hana Makoji. Dear. Role player. Thank you, John. Yes, you eventually... I was sitting there trying to visualise the table and what I had on it. Yes, role player. Yes, so that was really good. But I really do need to get monsters and minions, the expansion, to go with it, because it adds more races, as in the player boards, and some more store items and the monsters, so you can wander off and do some additional bits and pieces. So I think that is what I need to have a look at. So that's pretty much pardon me, what I have been up to. So what else? Not too much else. I was surprised. I went into it was pension day today. I went into the newsagent and found that my white dwarf has gone up $2. We're now paying $17 for a white dwarf. I'm beginning to think and wonder whether or not it's worth having to continue to pay for a magazine that I really don't support Games Workshop anymore. I don't play any of their games, and I haven't picked up a paintbrush in so many years now that it's ridiculous. But I guess I don't know whether or not I really want to say this, but I will anyway, is that I bought a game today and called Brew. And I was really excited because, I went and had a look on my Board Game Geek and saw that it had a rating of 7.3. And I was really excited. I thought, this is wonderful. It was the cheapest game that was available in my local game shop. And I thought, from memory, I remember people saying that it was a fairly good game. It had 7.3, which meant that it was, had a good rating. And I got home and I posted up a thing and I said, look, I picked up this game. I bought this game today. I'm really happy. And the feedback I got was, oh, it's very much a take that game. Didn't get a lot of support from my gaming friends. In other words, to me, it sounded like, I don't think you're going to get a lot of people wanting to play it. And that really made me feel like I wasted my money. So rather, I think, than getting the support of, well, that's a good game you bought, John. I'm pleased you bought it. We look forward to having a game with you. And you start to think, well, like, for instance, I don't criticise the choice of games that people buy. It's like I don't criticise, jewellery or, handbags or things that my wife buys. You don't do things like that to your partner or things like that. They're things you don't do, but you seem to be able to criticise people for, I guess, their gaming choices or their. But anyway, it's. I just find it disappointing that you think that you make a right choice, or you make a choice and hope that people will support you, and you seem to get negative feedback, or fail to get the support that you hoped that you would get. But anyway, I guess you can't please everybody, and I guess that's the world. Maybe I should have bought Lunar Capital, which I might buy, seeing it plays 1 to 4, so I can play it with myself. Yes. All right, well, look, thank you, everybody, for listening to me ramble on for nearly half an hour. So I very much doubt anyone's going to have listened to me for half an hour. So I will catch up with you all next time. Scout's gone off chasing the puka, who's... Oh, the chair's gone. So the puka's outside. And everybody take care. Pippin's... What are you doing, Pip? You going to come say goodbye? No, he can't be bothered. So till next time, signing off, the Honourable John.